Alright, let's just dive into it, shall we? Got plenty of magic to get to as always. We're kicking off with some keyword soup, build your own monster, whatever you want to call it here. We've got Soulflayer. So Soulflayer says whenever you delve away cards with different mechanics, it gains those mechanics for First Strike, Flying, Death Touch, Double Strike, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Something that's notable on here is that Defender is not one of the keywords this can gain. So a question that frequently comes up is, why is delving Sylvan Caryatid good? When you delve Sylvan Caryatid, you get the Hexproof without the Defender. So past that, we have a bunch of other effects in this deck, like Questing Beast gives Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. Rankle gives Flying and Haste. And then Zetalpa here is mostly uncastable. You could theoretically cast it off Confluence and Caryatid, but usually you're not. This gives Flying, Double Strike, Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible. So the idea is that we're going to build our own keyword suit monster to run our opponent down. A lot of the green aggro decks in this format just can't interact with this card if it has Zetalpa's Delve text on it, so that's pretty powerful. Post board, we have a number of interactive elements to become a little bit more mid-rangey in case our opponents bring in Graveyard Hate against us, so this deck was very reasonable last time we played it. It's felt very powerful a lot of the times when we played against it, so excited to see how it goes today. Hey, Roth, thanks for the 20 months of support. We had a few resubs before I fired up, too. We had Scrafted, check it in for 21. And then Mazer Mouse, thanks for the 11. Happy New Year to you, too. Have a good week to you, too, Guacamole. So my plan for this week... So, next week is the set release on Arena and Magic Online. Good morning, Scooter. I got you. Thank you for the 21 months of support and everything else you've done here over the last couple. What was I going to say? So, the basic game plan is we're back to a more normal-ish hours this week, so not doing... the 9 to 10 hours a day, back to my normal, 6 to 7 or so. And then we're still going to keep doing double Pioneer in the mornings, though. Is my plan. You want to keep this. So I think we just gather the pack here. So gather flips over the top 5 cards and gives you a creature or 2. We found none. I'm still streaming from a Linux computer. I'm using Moto inside of a VM. So when they added drag to cast to Magic Online, it caused Moto to start running very, very slowly under Wine, which is how I'd previously been running it. So because Moto is not a graphical program, though, it is a glorified spreadsheet, it runs fine in a virtual machine. Technically, every Monday between now and forever could be a ban list update for every format. So there are no more scheduled ban list updates, chat. This week is with the asterisk that we know that we're getting changes to Pioneer today. They said today would be the last rapid fire update for Pioneer, but then there are no scheduled updates past that. So we could see updates to basically anything between now and whenever. Yeah, they banned scheduled ban list updates last time. Alright. Soulflayer is probably pretty close to unbeatable for them, right? I think I just take that. So I only have Caryatid in my graveyard right now, But next turn, I can traverse for Lotleth Troll and use Lotleth Troll to get these Zetalpas and the Zetalpa into the bin, which is nice. So if we can dodge a Thoughtseize, we can dodge a ball. Hey, Thrin, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Genesis, thanks for the 15 months. Yeah. Outside of Zetalpa, this deck is very capable of winning matches without soul-flaring people, just like Rankle and Questing Beast can kill people. Lotleth Troll's an okay, sticky-ish threat. So they rolled back their Liliana on the last chope here, which lets them pick a creature back up out of their discard pile. Got a little bit of dead space in my preview pane. That good? It's bigger? Yeah, perfect. Alright, that's a Soulflayer. So the plan here is traverse with Delirium. Grab our friend the Lotleth Troll. Go ahead and cast Lotleth Troll and pass the turn here. Here, Ball, thank you for the 15 months. I like my presidential candidates like I like my cheddar, finely aged and from Vermont. Oh, I have my hotkeys. Hold on just a moment. I had to, because Moto's a quality piece of software, Moto had randomly stopped loading for me the other day, so I had to redo my hotkeys, and I currently have 2 of them backwards. Alright, sorry about that. You have to go deep into the Moto settings to fix that. I didn't want my personal information to pop up. Why do you call it Moto instead of MTGO? Moto stands for Magic Online with Digital Objects. Is the original acronym for Magic the Gathering Online. So ideally, we like to draw a Murderous Rider here. So that way we can Soulflayer with Lifelink. Hey, thanks for the 23 months, Big Mama. Welcome back. So we're going down to 8 here. Sick. Just like we drew it up, chat. Just like we drew it up. Discard Questerson here. One, two, three, four. A perfect monster. Monster. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Boo do 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 do. Boo do 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 do. All right, so this will be the old kill your planeswalker, swing the life total 16 points. Outside of Languish or an Edict, the Soulflayer should be pretty impossible for them to kill. Hey, thanks for the 45 months, Aaron. Welcome back. That is very close to a castle. I like this more in the Commander. Yeah, I don't think the Commander Core builds are nearly as good as this configuration. I think having Zetalpa as your only uncastable is ideal. Thanks, Evan. I appreciate it. I'll be up on YouTube later today, as always. They have an Abrupt Decay or something here to finish off the Troll. Fatal Push, maybe. Yep. I think I actually want to deploy this. Oh no, I can just play them. I want to deploy a creature here, so in case they have like a random edict, I don't lose my Soulflayer. Random make me sacrifice, but I can just play this Murderous Rider out. I could gather the pack and try and make another monster here. Is that better? That doesn't seem terrible. If I find another, if I find a Rankle with this, they die, right? That seems like worth it. So we get 5 shots at a Rankle to kill them. Sick. Questing Beast would not do it. Questing Beast plus Zetalpa would do it, but just Questing Beast would not, because they could block. So we needed Flying plus Haste there. So Questing Beast plus Zetalpa or just Rankle both did it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens today in Pioneer. So today's basically the day Pioneer leaves open beta, is a way to think about it. And I think today is going to set the tone for whether or not these one mana accelerants are, whether or not they're treated as Mishra's Workshop. I feel like if they don't ban Landwar Elves, Elvish Mystic, Arboreal Grazer, they're going to be banning around those cards in this format for like until they eventually get rid of those, if ever. We'll eventually just like have a bunch of green cards that are banned instead of just like getting rid of the cards that actually make them a problem. Yeah, Gather the Pack's very sweet in this deck. Good card advantage when you're playing fair too. What are you playing in the MCQ? I think I'm just playing Blue-Red Flash. I don't really plan to play anymore. I think I'm trimming Vessel. I want these trophies. I think I want a couple of Brontodons. I'm just going to bring in Trophy. Less is more. Yeah, less is more. Let's just bring in Trophy. Spiral, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Judging by Arena, I don't trust Wizards leaving open beta. That's true. That's true. Different teams, though, right? Different teams. Yeah, eventually vintage shops will just be like 4 workshops and 56 one-ofs. I agree. God forbid they restrict workshop. No, I think that's crap, Lord Aaron. I actually think the elves are more offensive than a Boreal Grazer. Because playing the sub-game of playing the sub-game of this is my elf, if you don't have a wild slash, you're going to be way far behind is nonsense. Yes, silly cheese is the answer to your question. Hey, Nivik. Yeah, last couple of weeks went well. Alright, so I think I'm just going to put another Lotleth Troll in play here. This one has regeneration up this time through. Hey, Ted Beardsley. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people. You can ship that to every single month on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month and keeping me employed. Welcome, welcome. Golgari Queen, sure. I think I'm going to go ahead and ditch this Caryatid here. Because if I draw an untapped land, I could gather the Pact into some other scaries and get the Soulflayer down. Perfect. So he says Questing Beast and Murderous Rider. So I think I'm going to take, and because I have 2 Soulflayers here, I think I'm going to take this Murderous Rider. And then I'm going to go ahead and Soulflayer anyways. Which maybe this is a little aggressive, but I get a haste, trample, vigilance, hexproof monster here. So not indestructible, but good amount of keywords. Your content is great. Finally figured out how to sub with Prime. I appreciate you taking the time to set that up, Ted. Twitch Prime keeps me employed these days, so thanks for keeping me around. Rewarded for playing this out proactively. That feels good. Rat Racer, thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It does not have first strike, unfortunately. Only one more month until I must face my worst enemy, the vaguest resemblance of responsibility. There aren't any other creatures in bins here, right? So I can just attack with this. Yeah, not quite as keyword soupy as actual factual questing beast, but close, you know, thereabouts. Thanks for the 2 years of support, Nivek. It's been a hot second. Thanks for keeping me around. Mount you all trusty steed. Yep. I think I'm gonna save this. And I think I just ride down this Scavenging Ooze. And then Soulflayer kills Liliana. We deploy Murderous Rider. Today was my 47th month, but I had to do it before the stream due to flying reasons. Thanks, Punchworthy. Almost at a castle. I think if you refresh, you're supposed to be able to send the notification through still. Should you have murdered the ooze before saving the troll? No. So the creature in my graveyard doesn't really matter. The life point doesn't really matter. But like, if I Murderous Rider their Scavenging Ooze there, before I save the troll, they could have a fatal push and kill my Lotleth Troll because Murderous Ridering taps me out in that instance. So I think it's correct to wait. I have a Languish. Kalitas. Okay, so got baited a little bit. Looking for another Murderous Rider, ideally, here. I can at least regenerate the Troll. And Soulflayer is hexproof, but Murderous Rider could potentially turn into a zombie for them. Sure. Hey, CJNJ, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, they're out of cards. They're out of cards. There's only one creature in a bin. So I feel like we're slightly ahead right now, but definitely a top deck game at the moment. Hey, Titanular Hero, thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. So here's a real question. Am I supposed to Grisly Salvage here? Because if I Grisly Salvage, that could give the Scavenging Ooze enough to trade with my Soulflayer. It could also be a Murderous Rider, though, so I think I'm supposed to... Instead, I put a Sylvan Caryatid into my bin, and now I can't attack. Yep. So now we're in a holding pattern. Because I don't really want to trade my Soulflayer for their Scavenging Ooze, I don't think. Yep. Good morning, Vicarian. Yeah, I guess we're just hanging out, huh? Maybe I should have been the Caryatid to this Lotleth Troll. They're gonna eat the spells out of my bin to make, if I draw another Spell Mastery card burst, that makes sense. I'd be pretty surprised if they banned Dig today. I'd be pretty upset, too. I'd much rather they just ban Grazer or just anything else, really. I think I'm supposed to double block here and give them a zombie. So Rider gets exiled, they get a 2/2, but if this starts hitting me, they get to just set up all their draws, and that's not ideal, so that's a fantastic pickup. I don't think I'm supposed to make a straw, though. Pretty sure I'm just supposed to smack them a couple of times. Pretty sure the answer is nothing. So they have 2 more things in bins for the Scavenging Ooze to eat that are creatures, so they're at a virtual 11 at the moment. Yeah, I agree, Edge Freak. I really hope those cards can exist. I think those are really sweet cards to cast. Yeah, I would love it if 3-mana Teferi would eat it as well. Prison decks suck. Leave prison decks to Modern and Legacy where they belong. Well, I mean, this isn't doing anything else. Cast Lay the Land, grab the last swamp out of our deck. The Pioneer Ban and Restricted update doesn't happen until the afternoon, so it'll be after I'm offline today. Generally speaking, the updates happen sometime between 4 and 6 p.m. Central. Remember, we don't have scheduled ban list updates for other formats, so like, maybe Wizard of the Coast will be bold today, and there's going to be an update this morning that just says, like, Mox Opal is banned in Modern, Splinter Twin and Birthing Pot are unbanned. That would be great. I mean, they're cowards, so they're not going to do that, but I can dream, right? I think it would be hilarious if they banned Oko in Modern instead of banning Mox Opal. I think like if I cared about Modern, I'd be very upset with them banning Oko instead of Mox Opal and like Astrolabe, but like I don't care about Modern, so like just watching the dumpster fire like smolder has been amusing. Well, I play Modern if Twin was if they banned Opal and unbanned Twin and Pod, I would play some Modern on stream again. I am not going to play Modern on stream if they don't both ban and unban something. Just one of the two is not enough. Yeah, if you're playing a black mid-ranger control deck in Pioneer, you should have 4 Thoughtseize. It's not a question. Did I just attack with everything here? Did I just attack with everything? You have tapped my Lotleth Troll. So this is definitely attacking. Undersalem, thank you for the 3rd of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. What if I ship with these two? They get to like block here, and they have to. I'm gonna attack with all 3 of these and see what they do. This is probably fine. Like, both of these have Death Touch. Yeah, there's, like, double trading. Double trading seems good for me. So they're gonna sack this zombie to this. So they're gonna gain 5. They're gonna gain 6. They'll take 3. So they're gonna be at 10 here. And I'm gonna have Lotleth Troll plus Sylvan Caryatid. Oh, yeah, this tramples over, too. I forgot about that. Right? That's great. I think I just do nothing here again. There's no reason to give them a card. I'm gonna head on board. Unbanned Rite of Flame, Crowbox, and Seething. So I can just, like, lean into what Modern is, right? If I pump this up, I can kill them, right? So, discard, draw, lose 1. That was a really, really clean example of, like, the range on this deck. Like, the first game, we combo killed them, essentially. Like, we created our giant uninteractable monster. And then the second game there, through Trolls and Murderous Riders and Rankles, we were able to just, like, grind them out. Hey, knock him dead. It's me. I like how I posted Pioneer and Historic every day this week in the subs Discord, and the reaction emoticon was keep. So the set release on Magic Arena is a week and a half out at this point, and I've only had 2 standard build-around submissions so far. Thanks for the 2 years, Phyrexian Fox. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for 3/4 of a year, Psychonaut. So I'm going to be interested to see how many specific deck requests we have when I open that up once we get the full spoiler. But like, you know, if there's not a lot of demand for standard, more historic and Pioneer could definitely be the norm. Should Thoughtseize be banned in Pioneer? I mean, I think Thoughtseize is a pretty miserable card that this format would be better off not being necessary. In my opinion, Pioneer would be a better place if Thoughtseize wasn't necessary. So the pro Thoughtseize argument has basically always been Thoughtseize is less offensive than the things it keeps in check. So I'd rather just not have that be a dynamic that's necessary. Hey, Ilstrud, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I was originally going to do some standard testing because there's the MCQ on Saturday this week, but the play patterns in the current standard format are like, they're kind of bad. Like, there's a lot of decks, but like, all of them are doing something that's just like pretty tedious or frustrating. Like endless counterspells and Brazen Borrowers is not a great life. I think I'm just gonna deploy these trolls. Hey, Caritas, thanks for the 19 months. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued Prime support. I think the Deep Fiend deck is fine. I think if the Soulflayer deck becomes popular, you probably want some Hour Devastation in the sideboard, but in general, it seems pretty reasonable. So what are we hoping for at this point? We're hoping for... well, Zetalpa is one thing we're hoping for, so we're going to start with that. So we'll play Vessel. We'll crack Vessel. We want to find Soulflayer plus some other goodies here. That is not a Soulflayer. Alright, so we'll take a Lotleth Troll here. Let's attack with this and see where we go. We did in fact get a lot less than we were hoping for. You're not wrong. So drawing a card with Divine Strike here. Feather again every time they cast a spell. Lets them get that spell back to their hand to recast at the end of the turn. So opponent going to start generating large amounts of card advantage here. Also is going to kill us rather quickly. We need to find a Soulflayer ASAP here to be competitive. That's a lot of Defiant Strikes. They have 7 cards in their hand. Yeah, I have 4 card types in my bin, right? would like this monster. I'm gonna go ahead and bin this questing beast. Feather is the Delver deck of Pioneer. I think that take is bad. I think that's the take of someone who hasn't actually played against Delver. Delver is cornerstone by having a lot of disruptive stuff. So you're right that the Feather deck is a protect the queen style strategy where like you have one key card that you're trying to keep alive at all costs, but it does not have the counter magic disruption that is like the headline of what you expect Delver decks to be doing. Alright, if they have a God's Willing, they could potentially kill us through this Soulflayer, because they can protection from black past it. But if they don't have God's Willing, we could be okay. Reckless Rage! Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless Rage! Do 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 do. Yeah, Infect's probably a reasonable comparison. I also, I don't think you need to draw a direct comparison there, but I think it's definitely closer to Infect than it is to Delver. I do what I can, Bear. I do what I can. Alrighty. Can you beat my monster? They get to draw a lot of cards here, so... they have 2 Defiant Strikes in hand at the moment. Match 2, game 1. Sultai. Should auto-yield to that one. Thanks. They have Gird for Battle and Reckless Rage in hand still as well. $982,000 shillings still shillionaire. Beverly Shills. That's where we want to be. Just shilling in Beverly Hills. You want to be able to say Bolchu and Pioneer? No. Hard pass. I think formats are better when answers are more diverse. Rather than scaling up answers to compete with better threats, I'd rather they scale threats down to make weaker answers more playable. Being able to play 3 mana creatures with only 3 toughness and not feel super bad about it is ideal. Wow, do they not have a God's Willing? Just 18 cards into their deck without a God's Willing. It's a good beat. Sure, I'll give you Fork Bolt. I agree that Forked Bolt would be a fine bolt. No Thoughtseize in the main. I just want to be as linear as possible game 1. I really only want Thoughtseize in this deck in matchups where racing them is likely not an option. Is what it comes down to. Captain Markov, thank you for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Let's make sure you got a sword to go with that shield. So game 1, I just want to be as ready to do as capable of doing my thing as possible, and then post board my pseudo combo deck slows down and can become more interactive. When slowing down and becoming more interactive is ideal. Well, if they don't have a way to gain life this turn, or God's willing to kill us, we should be good to go. Why do they keep giving green cards? So, that dork that lets you play an extra land each turn that costs 3 mana, you can theoretically go Goose on 1, that on 2, play a 3rd land, turn 3, play lands 4/5, play Nissa. Sounds great. Definitely need more turn 3 Nissa in my life. Oko is definitely the card that needed to be banned, not Nissa. I don't know about nothing wrong, but I definitely think Oko was the easy fall guy. Yeah, both could have been a financier. Oko violated the no shirt rule, no service rule. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Why would we dial back green? Green is the color pie. Hey, Brad, thanks for dropping your Prime this way this month. Hope your Monday's starting off well. Are you ready for the first NRG double weekend this weekend? You guys are doing coverage both days, I assume, right? It's Modern Legacy. Hey, Wind, thanks for the 2/3 of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, so Feather. Probably want Trophy. This could be a matchup where we want Thoughtseize. Rankle seems pretty bad here, has a hard time connecting through a Feather. I'm ready to be dead on Monday. at least you're prepared for it, right? Redistribution of wealth from Bezos' vault to Jeff Hoagland's mortgage. Thanks, Wind. Are any of the NRG weekends scheduled to be Pioneer Legacy, Brad? Or are the Legacy weekends only on paired with Modern? Do you know offhand? I should look at the schedule. I feel like I want to try and make it out to at least one of the weekends the first half of the year. And I'd prefer to do Pioneer Legacy, I think, and try and find a Storm deck. Because the Storm deck was gasoline. What am I cutting? I think I want maybe I don't want all 4 Thoughtseizes. Maybe 3 is fine. Taking their threat's pretty good, though. It's like trim Questerson. I'm going to trim Questerson. Am I going to trim Questerson? I'm going to trim Lotleth Troll. I'm going to trim a Troll. He doesn't attack very well. He gets Reckless Raged. Let's do that. Maybe Questerson's the cut because he gets Reckless Raged. Yeah, maybe it is supposed to be Questerson. That's true, actually. Questing Bee stops God's Willing on blocks. That's a good call. Yeah, I feel like the London Mulligan has really highlighted which folks in the Magic community are old men yelling at clouds. Get your change out of my game. Get it out. I think it's really telling that pretty much everyone I've seen who has been against the London Mulligan, pretty much everyone I've seen who's been against the London Mulligan is a really old school Magic player, whereas like all of the new people who like came into Magic with Arena are like, the London Mulligan's great. Because like people who came into Magic with Arena are used to playing other card games that have way less variance than Magic, so they have a far lower tolerance for nonsense. Whereas like old school Magic players are like used to just like being like, thank you sir, may I have another, when variance gets them. Yeah, but like here's my lukewarm take. All of these older formats where people are claiming the London Mulligan is causing problems, they've always had problems. It's just, you used to be able to put your fingers in your ears and pretend those problems didn't exist. It's just, now, the London Mulligan made everything more consistent. Team plus Pioneer. Honestly, it feels like the London Mulligans kind of like exposed the fact that a lot of ways that like some of the inherent non-balance that Magic has had in their designs for a while. I mean, to be fair, based on how they're handling Historic, calling the Historic format Historic, I think actually makes quite a good amount of sense. Because they're introducing cards from Magic's history into it, right? I'm gonna take 6 here. We're kind of looking for another card to flip things over into our bin here. Awkward. Well, the good news is if one of these creatures hits the bin, we have Traverse active, so I can chump with the Caryatid on the Hoplite. It dies. That's unfortunate. And then we can Traverse for something. What, they just have like nothing left? Yeah, I think I should have blocked with this a turn sooner than I did. Alright, Questing Beast is not bad. If they kill it, we get to Traverse. Questing Beast also beats favorite Hoplite's text, because normally this prevents damage to itself, so I can block it indiscriminately. If they have a Defiant Strike here, I get into some trouble. Gird for Battle, also not great for me. This lets them Flashback Declaration in stone. Is Questing Beast the green Glorybringer? No, that comparison doesn't really make sense to me. Glorybringer is a card that generates card advantage by removing your opponent's creatures from play, whereas Questing Beast does not generate card advantage. So I think that comparison's a little off base. I'm going to block with this, so that way Traverse the Ulvenwald has Delirium. Alright, looks like we're going to take game 3 on the play. Oh, I already had a creature in there. I'm dumb. It doesn't matter, we're just dead. We were missing land, was the card type we were missing, which I didn't have a way to get in there. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. I'm going to go ahead and run it back. I don't think this is a Gifted Aetherborn matchup. Is this a Gifted Aetherborn matchup? I guess it blocks a lot of their stuff, huh? And like lifelink's not bad. Let's try this. I think the Feather deck's very good in this format. Super, super reasonable. Speaking of super reasonable, it's good, clean, fair hand here. Waiting on the opponent. Hey, happy birthday, Mage. Yeah, there was a blue-white tempo build around in the queue, and I think the green splash seems good. So we're playing like blue-white, splash Sylvan Advocate, and Tamiyo. You are, Mavid. So we have 4 copies of Traverse the Ulvenwald, and Vessel and Grisly Salvage both help us hit land drops. But yeah, overall, this deck is an extremely low mana cost, extremely low number of lands. Yeah, Vigilance Creatures with Tamiyo is great. For sure. Yes, it's very rare that an opponent isn't down significantly on clock versus me. Usually I have to be playing something like the Lotus Field deck or like a Storm deck. One that I'm really not familiar with that has a lot of mechanical moto actions for me to be down on clock. It's not a terrible pickup. So waiting for his Zetalpa now. I guess I technically need a Caryatid too, because they have what's it called? They have Declaration in Stone post board, so just like making Soulflayer indestructible doesn't mean it's safe. Ideally, we want Zetalpa and Caryatid, just like have the full monster. No blocks, you got me. Reckless Rage. Alright, so their hand right now is Legionnaire, Battlefield Forge. Yeah, it's because Standard's not particularly popular in paper, I feel like, ad nauseum. My weekend was great. Wife and kids are home. I went to the gym twice. It was fantastic. It's a popular card in Pioneer too. I'm not convinced that anything could really be classified as popular in Pioneer at the moment. Wowza. Those are... Well, I mean, I guess at least I'm not drawing these now, I suppose. I mean, like, Pioneer hasn't really been established in paper yet. Like, I'd assume with today being the last, like, rapid fire ban list update, we're gonna see some finance stuff happen with some of the cards that are likely to become staples in Pioneer again. Just because I'd assume that there have been a lot of people that were like waiting to buy in. I expect over the next month to 2 months, demand will probably rise on a lot of those cards naturally, just because more people will finally be getting in. So there's going to be less frequent changes. I think there are a number of reasonable people who have been like, nope, I'm just like waiting and seeing. I come bearing Bezo bucks. Thanks, Holidays. 34 months is a long time. I think we're going to see the market change with some like actual like natural demand increases as opposed to like the normal forced MTG finance nonsense. I wonder if they're playing around a sweeper. They have a 10th District Legionnaire they're not playing out. Or they just have a feather. Okay, that makes sense. So I should just kill this now, right? I don't want to like get into trouble here. The problem is like I'm going to tend to kill this and then they're attacking me for at least 4 next turn, putting me to 6. The good news is if I draw a land next turn, I get to double Murderous Rider. I think I just Questerson here. Because he means if they don't have a Reckless Rage or a really good trick, they don't have good attacks. He also gets a little aggressive here. And then honestly, next turn, if I draw another brick next turn that's not an untapped land, I might just like Rider plus Soulflayer as a 4/4. And just like try and win this match, this game the fair way. Divine Strike's pretty good here. Lets them trade with Questing Beast and also get a Scry and a draw. They bought him. That's good for us. So if they have a couple of bricks in their hand, we could be good. But we are dead to Reckless Rage at this point. Also dead to Deccan Stone. Dead to that, plus a pump spell. Plus anything else that targets here kills us. Oh no, I'm just dead to that in general, right? Because I block 1. Yeah. Yeah, I think I played this game wrong. I think the turn I Grisly Salvaged, I should have played the Murderous Rider. Like, obviously I was going for the high roll on the Soulflayer, but the downside of missing on that high roll was, like, very bad. Like, basically game ending like we saw here. So, I think if I would have been a little bit more conservative with my plays, as opposed to trying to high roll the Soulflayer on that turn 4, I'd probably end up in a spot that I can't get punked out like this. I think there's a lot of different things Wizards of the Coast could do. I think trying to predict what they're going to do is difficult to impossible because we don't have access to a lot of information that they have. Oh, the one thing I really miss Arena to Magic Online, and I've said this before, is just the rate of play. Like, we've only played 2 matches so far today, and it took us over an hour to play 2 matches. The pacing without the auto tapper and the rope to push people along is just so glacial on Moto sometimes. If you get 2 people that are like using hotkeys, it can be relatively quick, but a lot of the time, opponents take their good sweet time just because they have plenty of time to use on Magic Online. I think I'm just playing one of the flash decks, Anaphylactic, and I don't really feel like testing. It's gonna register for Brazen Borrower. Need to decide if I want to play blue-red flash or if I want to play the blue-green flash deck. To answer your question, I haven't really been enjoying anything in the standard format. I think it's very obvious from the current standard format, to me at least, that like they designed this standard format thinking that Field of the Dead would exist and thinking that Veil of Summer would exist to keep some of these things in check. Get you to be the villain. I don't know what that means. I think I just play Vessel again here, huh? I guess I have Gather with Spell Mastery. I think I'd rather just use all 3 of my mana, though. Yeah, Ballista spiked when they spoiled Heliod. Sarkin, sure. Yeah, there's plenty of decks that are probably enjoyable in Standard that aren't very good. Lots of sweet things are bad. Hey, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub min-max, and for the 12-month at that. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Hope your 2020 goes better than your 2019. It's feeling like it's going to be easy for 2020 to be better than 2019 for a lot of people, which is nice. All right, let's salvage here. 3rd degree. Thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, am I just Soulflayering to kill this Sarkin? We're definitely Soulflayering here. The question is, am I killing Sarkin or not? I think I'm supposed to. I don't know, it might just not matter. I don't have lifelink on this, so like a way they could beat me is by going wide potentially, so killing Sarkin to prevent them from being able to do that seems good. I'm not 100% sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Board plan with this deck has mostly been trophies in and then Rankle or Vessel out. This might be a matchup where I want some Thoughtseize. If my opponent's deck has our deck in mind, they could have Hour of Devastation in their sideboard, which Thoughtseize is pretty reasonable against taking before they can cast it. Yeah, that seems fine. We'll probably just traverse for a land on one. Usually you want to try and make your first 3 to 4 land drops in this deck, so traversing for a land proactively tends to be fine. The reason why this deck only plays 18 lands is because this often just fetches a land for you. Dragon Hatchling, sure. Actual, factual mono red dragons. The Thunderbreak Regent here? I feel like it could just be Thunderbreak Regent. And then I can trophy the Glory Banger as a Saffron Olive deck. That makes sense. So we'll trophy the Glory Bringer this turn. And then next turn we can Grisly Salvage into hopefully a keyword soup monster. So we're going to take like 2 here. So I'll probably pump this up again. Nope, they miss it. Looks like they missed it. That's a Lotleth Troll. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Oh, why sticks? It's funny because it's true. Another Glorybringer? Sure. I bet those prices will start to converge with Pioneer becoming more relevant in paper. Alright, so I wonder if I was supposed to board in more lifelink things. Really hoping to see a Murderous Rider here. Get 4 more looks at a Murderous Rider. 5 more looks here. That's unfortunate. So we'll put my keyword soup monster into play again. Caryatid, Zetalpa, Questing Beast, random other card. So they have just 1 card left in their hand at the moment. I mean, if you've been watching Pioneer content here from the start, you heard me talk about how Mutavault was one of the most underplayed cards in the format, like from the very beginning. I tried to help. Help. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Gosh, we're one point short of killing them here. I can put this up to 7. Hey, thanks for the Prime support, Gabo. I appreciate you keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Am I dead? That's lethal, right? That's exactly lethal. That's so unfortunate. Maybe I should have left Sarkin alone. Yeah, I gave them enough time to kill us here. Got us to exactly 0. Pretty unfortunate for us that, like, we got through, like, 25 odd cards there and didn't have a lifelink creature, but it is what it is. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Let's just, like, plan to have a lifelink creature in our top whatever next time, or maybe just be a little bit more aggressive. If I'd have ignored their Planeswalker, I think we would have raced them there. Boomfist, thanks for the 2 months. Boxy checking in for a third of a year. Anything I need to take into account if I plan to bump a Pioneer deck with Shillings? Nope. Planning to do 2 Pioneer decks a day this week. I believe I'm going to be off on Friday, though. Currently have it off on my schedule. So planning to not be live Friday. We'll be live for a little bit on Saturday morning with the MCQ, but that'll be standard. Standard. Boo, standard. I'm planning to do a bunch of extra hours when the new set drops next weekend. But how much is standard and how much is the other thing will depend on what kind of deck submissions we end up getting overall. Gosh, do I just like take the land here? I think I just take the land here. And then I think I plan to salvage again. Like, I could lifelink questing beast hexproof text, but I think I'd rather hold up and salvage so I can get like 6 more chances out of Zetalpa here. Yeah, I mean, like, we still got 2 Magic formats I can play that I'm enjoying, so like, you know, hard to be too upset at both standard and modern or medium if I've like still playing both Moto and Arena. It's nice. It's nice that standard's currently medium and I get to still play Arena, which is great. This is the punish for waiting. Huh? So do I just Soulflayer now? They didn't pull the trigger on the crypt. So I think I just Soulflayer now. I think I just Soulflayer and then Thoughtseize them. Yeah, Tormod's Crypt is, like, not very good against our deck. Dragon creatures you control have +3/+3, sure. Now I'm pretty sure it's right to kill the Sarkin here. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Thirsty Kane. Welcome back. So their hand is another Crucible of Fire and then one card I don't know at the moment. I think it's really difficult to know which of those two things it is, Reyes. Like, again, magic data is just largely too incomplete to draw meaningful conclusions from in most situations. So, outside of our... Well, that kind of sucks. I lost my Lotleth Troll. I think it was worth getting in there. So we're hoping to draw a Murderous Rider or a trophy here. Both of these have Death Touch, so I think we just smack them here. So we have another out to draw removal spell here. I don't think I want to offer this trade. I think I just like Caryatid Pass. Oh, you know what? I could have taken a Zetalpa earlier. That actually would have been castable, huh? Because I happen to have double Mana Confluence. Alright, so we're dead. I think we've died. Thanks for the 18 months, Malern. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's exerted. Only have one card type in my bin. Opponent played well and left their Bone Crusher back here, so can't kill them with Soulflayer. I think I just passed for now. I think I'm supposed to hold on to the Traverse in the event that we draw like a Salvage or something else to fill the bin. Yeah, Running Dragon Seer is just real good. Needed the Assassin's Trophy one turn sooner, huh? I guess... I'm like, hashtag not dead yet. I like, attack with this, they trade with Bone Crusher, I trophy the Glory Bringer, I could rip a Haste Creature. Could, like, rip another Questing Beast if they don't have a blocker. That's not how Magic works, Clockwork John. Take a break to read the cards. I mean, they already showed us they're not attacking with the 4/4 Enya, so I think my better chance is to do this. And like, hope to draw a haste creature. One card type short. So ultimately, the Tormod's Crypt ended up getting us here. And a couple different sequencing decisions this game that could have gone differently. And again, this is one of those things where, like, when people ask about, like, what the record is, the record doesn't really tell the whole story. I feel like both the matches we've lost here were, like, super close and, like, go the other way if I make different decisions in the third game. Hey, thanks for the entire year of support, KYP. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. The first game we were also pretty unfortunate in that third match there, because we were like 20 plus cards into our deck without a Murderous Rider. That certainly would have been game winning. And I also like misprioritized their threats in the first game and probably could have raced better if I had ignored their Sarkin. This hand's okay. Not amazing, but fine. I mean, she's an intelligent individual, Gengar. And honestly, it just, like, it speaks volumes of how ignorant a lot of people that vote for the GOP are. That, like, a lot of those folks associate people like Joe Biden as being as liberal as someone like AOC or Bernie Sanders. Like, the fact that, like, they could even think those people are in the same spectrum is wild. Because a lot of people that vote for the GOP see are R's and D's, and they assume they're all the same, just based on what letter is next to their name, which really couldn't be further from the truth. There's a reason why there's people like AOC, like, aggressively primarying other established Democrats, and that isn't happening on the Republican side. Well, that's a pack rat. They took our Soulflayer surprise. We'll see how this goes from here. Last game, if you're just tuning in, we didn't have Delirium because we got Tormod scripted, Metsu. So we didn't have Delirium because our opponent interacted with our stuff. If you have a mathematical reason that would imply why we can't get Delirium consistently, I'd love to hear it. But as always, like, gut feelings and spot examples are not good reasons to do or not do something. I could have salvaged there to try and find a Soulflayer, but I think they're likely to kill this Questing Beast, so I'd rather get the Questing Beast dead before I Soulflayer them. Yep. So we're going to take 6 here inside of combat, because I'll activate their Mutavault. Neither of those are the Soulflayer I wanted for Christmas. Probably dead here at this point. Thanks for the 30 months, Smugface. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I think that's fair legal. There's also been people like Amash who, like, I would classify as, like, an actual conservative who, like, isn't just, like, a bigot or a Trump lapdog, who, like, are leaving the GOP because they understand what the party is turning into. All right, so we're going to take 6 total here down to 6. Or 5 total. Down to 7. Feels dead, man. I'm on the technically not dead yet plan. I can block a pack rat. They hit us for like 6. I gain 2. Yeah, we're not dead this turn, but I also don't have any lifelink in my bin. So even if I Ripple Soulflayer, we probably can't come back. Because this thing's going to tuck itself back into our library here. Yeah, it is a real shame. This is a deck where the fact that Rider tucks itself back in is a huge deal. Hey, thanks for the 16 months, Mikey. Welcome back. What are we doing here? I feel like Gifted Aetherborn's probably fine. Last Hope's probably fine. Hexproof seems important here. I mean, it's not really that hard to outlinear rats. Like, if we would have found a Soulflayer, Zetalpa would have outlineared the rats, no problem. Feels Magic Man. Am I even playing this game? I guess I am. Do I keep Caryatid or Traverse? I think I keep Caryatid because I need the second black. I think I just pass for now. So this way, if I, like, find a Soulflayer, they can't Thoughtseize it. If we, like, flip Soulflayer, Zetalpa, and some other goodies, we could actually win this game still. Just because Flayer's that good. Okay. Alright, Questerson. I choose you. He's not a lot, but he's all we've got, chat. Even though we still don't know how to get into that, there's very clearly defined ways on how to get into the MPL. Credit where credit is due. I think all the people that were complaining that the MPL structure wasn't straightforward that they defined last year were just being lazy and wanted to complain about something. It's reasonably difficult to make a system like that with that amount of depth super easy to read at a glance on paper. I think their structure overall was very reasonable. What they ended up having. Like, one more turn to find a, copy of Soulflayer here. Go ahead and throw one of these away. Now, the thing we don't know this year is I believe they still haven't filled the discretionary slots for rivals, right? Unless I missed that announcement, there's like 3 or 4 discretionary slots for the Rivals League, and I don't believe they've shared publicly who those slots are yet. We also don't really know, like, they said the MPL weekly events were going away, but we also don't know if there's anything replacing them, or, like, do these rivals and MPL players mean anything other than players playing in events? Because they're not required to stream this year. So, like, are they showcasing them in some other way? Those are questions we don't know the answer to, but as far as, like, how to get into the MPL, we definitely know the answer to that question. Bring back GP coverage. I don't know. I honestly like I know there's a lot of like public outcry about GP coverage and all that, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if like they should have data from 2019 that tells them this or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if dropping GP coverage does not have a meaningful impact in like their overall sales of things. Like I know GP coverage as a whole, or GP attendance as a whole was down, but it's hard to know if that's related to like people not wanting to go because they can't get a chance to play on coverage anymore, or if like people aren't going because organized play was different last year. There's a lot of variables. Like as someone who liked watching GP coverage, I wouldn't mind if it came back. But I also know from the business perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have incentive to bring it back. Nah, I don't think so, Wiku. I think the 2 digs in the sideboard are the only things that could be remotely in danger of getting banned in that archetype. Yeah, that's too true. Both modern and standard were like thoroughly dumpster fires last year, which definitely didn't help. I'm just gonna take another Caryatid here. And Indestructible should be good enough against green-red. Do other esports stream their amateur tournaments? Yeah, a lot of them do. It's also worth noting though too that like Magic's kind of unique in the esports scene with how like the Grand Prix structure is set up. Like having an open attendance event like that isn't really the norm for esports, from my understanding. Modern is still a dumpster fire. I mean, you're not wrong. All right, so they played this Domri and plussed it, which means I can traverse for a Soulflayer and then kill that next turn. Sounds like the plans. Let's go find a friend. I would like this big scary monster. Would like to cast. Actually, I can gather the pack before I do this, huh? Grab another Soulflayer for later. Oh, I could have grabbed 2 things there, huh? That's fine. I don't really want the Soulflayer. My favorite are the people who are like, I really love Modern and I hope they fix it. I'm like, well, if you think Modern needs to be fixed in its current state, you probably don't actually love it. You love the idea of it. I feel like a lot of the people who are on like the please fix Modern bandwagon have this really romanticized idea of what they would like Modern to be, and Modern will probably never be what they want. Ulkard, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. How's this deck going? Pretty reasonably. I think this archetype's super competitive in this format. I mean, a lot of decks have a really hard time dealing with this card when you get the Zetalpa text on it, and I think there is enough to this deck's fair game plan, backup plan that it's pretty reasonable overall. I think my opponent with the Domri Chaosbringer is likely playing a Raise Boar style deck. So I'm going to go ahead and board in Trophy and Thoughtseize here to disrupt them a little bit on that axis if that's what they're doing. Yeah, that's probably accurate, Vernash. They have some kind of pet deck that's like a dumpster fire. And they like think Modern could be moved to a state that like makes that. Bernie Sanders on Twitter with the real hot takes. His campaign brings more people to the political process for the first time, and that's the way they'll beat Trump. Couldn't have said it better, Bernie. That was the, I think I'm all aboard the Bernie bus at this point. I was waffling between like him and Yang and Warren for a while, but I think we're solidly on the Bernie plan in the Hoagland household. Yeah, follow Bernie on Twitch. No, I'm not joking. Are you not worried that because of his heart attack he's unelectable? Listen. Trump, one of the things that Trump did is he removed any and all possibility that any individual person is unelectable. If we can elect a rapist and a bigot and a serial liar, anyone is electable. Thanks for the 22 months, Feds. I appreciate that. Welcome back. At this point, I trust Bernie to pick a reasonable, progressive VP candidate that would carry out his platforms in a way that he would should anything happen to him. And I trust him to pick a progressive VP candidate more than I trust most of the other people to make good decisions, I think. Thanks for the 3 months, Holy Elvis. I appreciate that. Someone mentioned Bernie's opposition to nuclear power. That is the one position that Bernie has that I don't align with him on. Trying to address climate change without leveraging nuclear is foolish in my opinion. From my understanding of the science, from things that I have read. Yeah, Medicare for all and climate are my number 1 and number 2 issues on my voting ticket. They are a raised board deck. Hopefully this pig doesn't kill us next turn. All right, sweet. Let's do this, see what we find. That's really unfortunate. I needed to find any creature on this Grisly Salvage, so that way I could discard the creature to Lotleth Troll to attack into the 6/6, and now I cannot do that. We're gonna get Ulamogged, maybe? The fact that Soulflayer has first strike, or double strike, and, oh, he actually doesn't have Death Touch at the moment, huh? I did not delve a Questing Beast. Yeah, no candidate is gonna align with you on actual everything. That's just actually impossible, regardless of who they are. So I can take Bernie having a medium stance on nuclear compared to what I prefer with everything else that he's stood for and represented over the years. Yeah, Bernie's running mate will be important. I agree. Like I said, I trust him to pick a good running mate at this point, more than I trust other people not to pivot or move what they're gonna do. As far as this deck is concerned, I think I'm pretty happy with this list. I feel like the one kind of flex slot that I'm not sure on are these copies of Rankle. They were okay in some points, but just didn't line up well in others. Last time we had played this archetype, we played some Gifted Aetherborn in the main deck. And I think if you're expecting a lot of green or red aggro, Aetherborn in the main's a very reasonable inclusion. There were a number of games where the make or break point in the game was whether or not we could get a lifelink creature into our discard pile for Soulflayer to suit up with. So having access to more lifelink creatures to put into our bin is definitely nothing to scoff at. So if you're looking for a deck that has like pseudo combo finishes that also can kind of slog out in a fair game plan, especially post-board with like Thoughtseizes and trophies and stuff, I think this is a good choice. If you're looking to combat this deck, I think one of the best cards in this format that we're probably going to start seeing some more of is Hour of Devastation. It's going to be a real card just because it kills indestructible hexproof Soulflayers. I don't think Rankle's really a sideboard card. I think Rankle's just kind of like a generically reasonable card that has good keywords. It's like relatively linear game one. So I don't think someone had asked earlier in this set was why I wasn't playing Thoughtseize in the main. And the reason why I don't have Thoughtseize in the main is because I think just like trying to linear people in game ones is ideal. Yeah, Settle the Wreckage is another good card. Settle's a card people have already been kind of playing Citrus, whereas like Hour of Devastation is a card that hasn't really been registered much yet from what I've seen. Alright, so we've got one more Pioneer deck coming up today. My plan is to do 2 Pioneer decks to start every day this week. I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while I get set up with this one. When I get back, we're going to play some Bant, Tamiyo, Bant Tempo, whatever you want to call it here. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.